Yes. All right, the court is calling, Sydney, are you ready?
Yeah.
Court is calling 2025 CR 013333 State versus Anthony Blackburn. Can I have parties re-announce?
Rick Pena for the state of Texas.
Juan Carlos Hernandez for Mr. Blackburn.
And you're Mr. Blackburn?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right, and then state you have a witness?
Mr. Honor, state police, AJ Blackburn.
All right, and sir, if you'll stand over there with the deputy.
You're back against the counter?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for coming down. All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand if you will state your name for the record.
Anthony Blackburn Jr.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Blackburn. What do you recall from this incident as far as how that night began?
The night began with some phone calls back and forth between my father and my mother. She had reiterated several times that she did not want to have conversations with him.
Where were you when this conversation was occurring?
We were at my apartment, my residence.
Okay, and your mother was with you at that?
Yes.
So go ahead and continue.
Several phone calls were made back and forth. At one point I ended up my mom had it on speakerphone and I kind of hopped on and told him that he needed to knock it off. So we were all fed up with it.
Who was doing the calling? Was it your mom calling your dad or your dad calling your mom?
He was calling my mom.
Yeah, how many times did you say he made the call?
Upwards of a dozen that day.
Okay. And then what happened after you got on the phone with him and told him what you
We got into an argument over the phone. Eventually we hung up. But what happened was he proceeded to call my sister and pick a fight with her and my brother-in-law.
What happened after that?
At that point, my brother-in-law left his residence. He had taken my sister's keys with him so that she couldn't follow. I received a phone call from my sister letting me know that my brother-in-law was en route over there and that he was really upset. So I hopped in my truck to go try to play peacemaker. And
Where were you planning to go?
right where I went, right outside the house, across the street.
Was it your intent to cause any hostility that night?
Not at all.
Was it your intent to cause any violence that night? No. Were you intending to threaten your father that night? No. So what happened when you arrived at your father's place?
I was coming down the road. His house would have been on my left-hand side. I put over to the right hand across the street, parked pretty much directly in front of his driveway across the street. He exited his residence, and
When he exited, where were you?
when he exited, I was inside my driver's seat of my truck.
Okay, so you hadn't even gotten out of your truck, he's already coming. All right, what happened after he exited his residence?
He stopped at the front porch and began shouting that I needed to get out of there, essentially. At that point, I opened.
You one about that in a nice way?
Not at all.
All right, what happened after he said those things?
As he was yelling, I had begun to open my door and I stepped out and kind of anchored my back to the side of my truck and had said something along the lines of, "You need to stop acting effing crazy."
What did your father do in response to you saying?
At that point, he repeated the word crazy, put his index finger in the air and said, "Wait right there." I kind of stood there in shock, but he had turned around at that point and re-entered the home.
What did you think was potentially going to happen at that point?
Honestly, at that point, I didn't think anything was gonna happen. What happened was the last thing I would have thought.
What happened after he went back into the residence?
I could hear some things shuffling around in the house in a violent manner. And then I heard the clear, distinct sound of a shotgun rack. And at that point, I re-entered my vehicle and
Where did you hear that sound come
from inside the residence.
Sounds silly, but how did you know it was a shotgun?
I've done this my whole life, hunting outdoor stuff. I know that sound.
So you're familiar with, okay, so what
Very much
happened
so.
after you heard that?
After I heard that sound, I jumped in the truck because I knew very well what that sound was, and I hammered down on the gas as hard as I could.
Happened after?
As I was driving off, I remember taking a look back over my left shoulder, and he was running out the front door with the shotgun in hand. I saw him shoulder it up. I put my head down towards the center console, heard the bang, felt the shake of the truck, immediately was overtaken with the smell of gunpowder.
To your knowledge, where did the shotgun blast him?
It hit my driver's side back door.
How close was that from where you?
18, 24 inches behind me, a little on the low side.
What did you do after you felt that?
I immediately started patting myself down, make sure I wasn't hit. That was the first thing. And then I actually called my mother initially, and
How did you feel at that point?
I was in complete disbelief.
Happened after you called your mother?
She asked me probably what all mothers ask, if I had called the police. I said no and hung up and did that immediately.
Where were you when you made the call to police?
I believe I was right around Nogalitos and Division Road intersection, give or take.
How far away is that from your father's residence?
A mile, less than a mile.
When you were there at his residence, did you ever leave the proximity of your home?
No.
In total, how long would you say you were there?
Felt like forever. 2 to 3 minutes probably, if we're being realistic. Maybe.
And how would you describe your father's behavior at that time?
He was enraged. He was very, very upset.
My last question is, how did it feel to have your father shoot that shotgun at you?
Probably the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. Person I grew up idolizing, wanted to be like, in that moment had decided he wanted to try to take my life. And it was still is the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with to this day.
Mr. Ismail, two questions.
Good morning. My name is Juan Carlos Ferrer. I represent your father. We've spoken a couple times on the phone in regards to this case, right? You are aware that your father's has a no contact order, so he hasn't been able to reach out to you after this mental health crisis that he had that day. Would it surprise you that he has?
Yeah. This. You could just go to the color your public or.
Oh, and also if you all can step that way to the court reporter and I can
Can you
hear.
hear me now? Yeah. Okay. Would it surprise you that Anthony, I've been representing him now for over a year. And yesterday he testified and showed his remorse of what he did. That's the last thing that he ever wanted to do was harm you. He just, for whatever reason, y'all's emotions were all very heightened. Is that a fair assessment?
Emotions are high there.
And you know that your father probably struggles with his emotional control. You've seen that as a child, I'm sure.
Yeah,
okay.
Very much so.
But in all fairness, do you feel like your father has been a good father to you when you were little and he was teaching baseball and what he was proud of y'all? Did you all get that sense of him?
I think him as a father, it was always the two extremes. The good was always great. Couldn't complain about it. The good was great. But when it was bad, it was bad.
So in fairness with that answer, right, it kind of shows the court that your father is either hot or he's cold, right? He has an inability to modulate his emotional impulses. Or if something gets imagined, he sparks up pretty quickly, correct? In this situation, he's made a mess of himself. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Okay. And by having an affair, and having your two sisters now, essentially, and not telling the family for so long, and then springing it on to the family, that must have been like pulling a pin up a hand grenade, and I'm sure that devastated your mother, correct? And you guys are very protective of your mother, correct? You've got a younger brother, Brandon.
Yes.
Okay. And then you're having to deal with your pop, who does love you guys very much. Is that a fair assessment? But he's had a difficult time, controlling his emotions. He wants the family all to embrace the two new sisters because he wants that, but everybody else has their own feelings about it, correct? And he was, in his attempt to have his family united, he was going about it the wrong way by trying to force, you guys need to accept them. And is that a fair?
Yes.
Okay. And then things got superheated. He got booted out of the house, though, right? Rightfully so. And he's been living alone now. After 20, how many years married to your mom?
29, I think, at this point.
So that's a long time. So now he's an older guy alone because of his own doing. Okay. But he is alone. He struggles with modulating his emotional impulsivity, correct? And he's frustrated because the good part of him, right, just wants everybody to be together. That's ideally what he wanted, right? But you guys weren't ready, and you guys are hurt. And so ugly things were being said both ways, right? Mom can get somebody better, and all the ugly things that he said, I'm sure too. You show up, you know that your brother-in-law is on his way and he's pissed, correct? So from your dad's standpoint, when he sees people coming over after having such a heated conversation, right? Because your mom put the call on speaker.
Yeah.
Your father, at least from his perspective, he doesn't know why people now are showing up. He's going, oh God, AJ's going to beat me up, or someone's going to beat me up. It wouldn't be far-fetched for him to think that, correct?
On that point, I would say he was aware.
Okay.
He at several points throughout the phone calls, he had welcomed us over there to sort things out, in a sense.
Okay.
He was very much so aware.
Okay. And so and knowing how he is, where he cannot regulate his emotions, now he sees you there on his property, he's now freaking out. It's our standpoint that at that point, your father hasn't had any therapy ever in his life. And he's never navigated. How do you handle when you spring on a family that you love, that I've got an extra family that nobody knows how to navigate that, right? Especially somebody like your pop. Okay. He sees you there. And I know this. He loves you very much. He loves the whole family. And he is so ashamed at what he can't even believe that he's done what he did. But he did it. And he's here for that. And I just want to make sure that we have all the context for the judge in fairness. And he's got 1 foot in the prison already. And he knows this, and it terrifies him. In all fairness, Anthony, can you see that your father was at the brink in his life, the lowest point that he's probably ever been, and he just snapped? Is that a possibility in your mind from what you know of this man?
I do.
It's something that you told Rick, that when he went into the house and you heard that, you were like, that's the last thing that you thought was going to even happen. Correct. Because he's never done something like this before.
He's gone off the wall in the past.
Yeah.
He'd never done anything remotely on the playing field of this.
Yeah, and I believe so. If now Judge Boyd has a really difficult decision to make, because typically on a case like this, people get sent to prison, and she does it all the time. She's known for this, but she's trying to make a decision here, and that's why she asked you to come, and we're all thankful that you are here today, to give her a little bit more context. If she places him on probation, what would you like her to do?
If he is granted probation, I think he needs to remain in therapy. He needs to continue his anger management classes. There needs to be no contact orders in place for me and my family,
Your mother?
my mother, my
Yes.
brother, my older sister. At this point, none of us want to speak to him, and we'd like for it to remain that way. And just to ensure that it is on a one strike basis. I am fully okay if Judge Boyd opts to do this, but I am very big on, if he does drop the ball, even something small one time, I think he needs to finish his term behind bars.
That's a fair answer. Let me ask you this one. This one's kind of more like a personal thing, because I've gotten to know this man. If he does all that, and he makes the changes, and he learns how to modulate himself, and he goes through therapy, is there any chance that the family will someday in the future possibly embrace him back? Not
I
to the
can't-
position.
I can't speak for my family, but as far as for myself, what took place that night is irreversible, and I do not see myself having a relationship with him moving forward.
No further questions. Thank you.
Any further questions?
No further questions, Judge.
All right, thank you for coming down. All right, so I'm going to tell everybody this is what my issue is with this case. And this is why I'm glad you all were able to have the complainant to come in and talk, because I wanted to know what was going on that night. But my issue is we have this incident that we're here for today, where I'm sure, based upon his actions, the affair, having children, then, as you said, counsel, springing it on the family, and they're supposed to be accepting of these other people. So I'm sure it was heated arguments on both sides. I'm sure the telephone call was a heated phone call. And I understand that. But here's my issue. He goes there. The son is outside. Nobody's presented any information to the court that the son threatened him. I'm sure they had a heated conversation, and that is why, based upon the testimony that the son said, where your client was just one moment. But his son is driving away and is fired upon. Again, I understand that everything is heated. But then he goes to therapy, which was the evidence that was presented to the court. And I have the certificate. I've read it. Great. That means that he's addressing the issue. If that were all there was of the evidence, it would be an easy decision for me to make based upon the testimony that I've heard. But after he finishes with therapy and he gets a certificate, he puts a tracker on his ex's vehicle. That's an issue. And it seems that he's not letting go.
Could I address that?
Sure. And that's what I want you all to address. And I'm just telling you all what my issues are. And now I'll hear arguments from both sides, and you all can address that. And if anybody wants to call somebody else as a witness to address that, you can.
I'll just close. In my close, I'll address those issues. So Judge, as you've become aware now, and with what's on the PSI, Anthony is a 56-year-old man. He's 2 years younger than me. He's a flawed man, like most of us. We all have details at different degrees. He's flawed in the sense of regulating his emotions. I think we feel after talking with the family and getting to know Anthony a little bit more, it kind of stems from his childhood with his mother, not having a solid place for him to go. So he was moved and shuffled around. His sweet Uncle Joe that you met yesterday, he would try to step in a little bit. He has his own family and he was running his own air conditioning business. But when he could have Anthony over, and he would spend some weekends and a few weeks sometimes when he was a child, he would take him out and do the kind of fatherly things that he has. I've raised 4 boys, and I know how important a father is to boys. And if you're absent of that, it will cause some problems. Some guys stomach it up and put their bootstraps and become solid men, but not everybody.
But my question then would be, at what point, because I'm sure everyone has some trauma in their past,
Sure.
at what point do his actions become his own and not?
They're his actions, Judge. And I'm not throwing the typical defense. Oh, it's because he had a troubled child.
Oh, no.
I'm just trying to, a lot of times when I take we've been practicing together for a long time, right? And as criminal practitioners, we sometimes we have some evil people that we address, and you see them in court all the time. And sometimes we have good people that just do some crazy things that they would not do. And a lot of times we're trying to figure out, why did this good person get to this point to do this? Because he's not somebody who's got a history of this has been a surprise, right, to his family, to his son, to himself. And it's because he had a mental snap, because he doesn't have that foundation that a lot of us had by being raised by good family members and having a solid life and going to college and doing all that stuff. Not everybody has that life, right? And here's a guy who's been struggling himself, desperately wanting to have a family. He found it with Carrie. He's raising 2 boys. He's teaching them how to play baseball. He's one of those active fathers. There's a lot of fathers that have kids and they don't do nothing with them. He's active with them. He loves them. He's flawed now. He has an affair with some woman. She gets pregnant. She has 2 of his kids. He doesn't introduce that. That's a big flaw, but that's not what he's here for that. But this is all part of what's swimming around in his mind and in his heart. And he doesn't have the tools. This happens, the son, they're all mad, and they putting hands on each other on past things. He's already invited them. You want to do something? So this is already getting to the point of some possible violence. And then he's frustrated because he desperately wants his family to just accept the 2 girls, which is not a realistic thing, but in his childish kind of emotional way of thinking, I just want my family to be together because that's what he wants. So it comes from a good place, but how he is not able to regulate his emotions, he snapped. And he did something that he would have never done. If we would have thought that, oh, this is a self-defense case, this is not this is an imperfect self-defense case, and that's why we're pleading. He's taken responsibility. He knows that what he did was absolutely bonkers. I've seen him cry with snots coming out of his nose because of how deeply he feels that he's hurt his son. So now we're here, and this happens. And hats off to SAPD, Chief McManus, who was my captain when I was a police officer in DC. Chief McManus, they showed up to Anthony's house, and they were trying to make a decision with SWAT. Do we go in and grab this guy? And when Aunt Sarah came and they asked some questions, and then they looked at his background, they figured out, okay, this is not one of them guys that we need to go in there, kick the door down, and possibly shoot. He's not somebody who's like a gang member. This is a good guy who's had a snafu. And let's just wait and we'll pick him up a few days later. So hats off for them for doing that. They don't do that in every case, but they did it in this case. Because he was telling them on the police report, shoot me. He had snapped. He knew that he had done something that he couldn't even believe that he did. He didn't even know where it came from. So finally, he gets arrested. We put him through therapy, the first therapy that he's ever had in his life. And just because he's in therapy doesn't mean that he's cured.
You know, this is going to take a long time, but he's learning the tools. His family starts to see that, Anthony's he's changing. He's not like impulsively getting mad whenever he's being like a normal person. He's figuring things out. He knows that he had to make a change. And if you've read in the PSI, when the probation officer asks him all these questions, it's the same thing that he said to them back then. He's saying it now. He knows that his wife Carrie is like the key holder to possibly having the other sons accept him back, or not ever like they used to be. They're never going to be the same family again, but to at least not alienate him so much. And so he foolishly, without my knowledge, because this was just popped on me yesterday morning, that he put a thing on there so that he could maybe run into her and try to talk with her when, which is foolish. But it's all with the reasoning that he's just trying to get his family back. I think that if you were to even give him a chance and you do it, you can customize this to actually maybe help him with his progression. He's progressing. Put strict no contact with Carrie too, even though she's not a complainant in this case. We're going to put it on Carrie, on Brandon, and on AJ. No contact, a zero tolerance. You even cough in the wrong direction, you are going to prison. Because right now he's building a relationship with his daughters, who he's just recontacted with in the last 3 years. Went to their quinces. He pays child support. He's got a good job. He's living alone and he's figuring his life out. I think that we sometimes, as criminal practitioners, we can help people achieve something, and it doesn't happen in every case, but it's really nice when we see people that we haven't seen that have been in the court system and they changed their life around, and it's nice to be a part of that. I think that we can have that happen in Anthony's case. His son is open to giving him a chance. He knows his father's never done anything like this. SAPD handled it the way that I think they should have, because they knew that he's not like an ongoing threat. I say, let's give him a chance. And that's our hope, that you can consider that. But whatever your decision is your decision, and we respect it.
Okay. And Mr. Blackburn, I want you to know, whenever you go to judges school, you know what they tell you? Don't say anything on the record. That's it. That's not me, right? And the reason why I say certain things is because it's happening mentally, and I want those issues to address. And I never want attorneys to leave without addressing an issue that I may have, to address my concerns. Because otherwise, it's sort of like when you have a jury trial and you do a closing argument to a jury, and you think, hey, this is what everybody should be concentrating on. And then when they come back with the verdict, you find out, no, the whole thing to them was about a blue shirt or something. So that's why I will always ask questions, because those are the things that I want addressed. So you're having an affair, that's not really going into the court's consideration. Oh, you should go to prison, or you should not go to prison. That's just something for me to consider about everything that was going on that night, like why tempers were the way they were. So I just wanted you to know that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And I'm hearing everything and listening to everything and listening to everybody's arguments. Okay. And I'm internalizing everything that everyone is saying, because I'm trying to understand how we're at this point now with regards to the charges against you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am.
All right. If you want to say something, you're still under oath.
I upset my son and my other son not wanting to, and my wife, and I'm sure she's gonna divorce me, and I said they don't want nothing to do with me no more, ma'am. If I could have a chance to raise my daughters, at least I'll walk that straight line, ma'am. You'll never see me. I'll do whatever you require me to do. I've built a good life working. I'm a hard worker, man. I really am. I've done stupid things.
But see, here's the thing. My major concern with you
Yes, ma'am.
is, well, one of the concerns is putting the tracker on the vehicle after therapy. And what I can tell you, many times when relatives will come in and testify, and I can see that your son loves you, right? I don't think anybody thinks he doesn't love you.
Him tremendous.
And I always tell loved ones and relatives who come testify, because they're always like, oh my gosh, did I say something wrong? Am I the reason this person is going to prison or not going to prison? And I would always tell them, no, you're just there to give information. So everyone is here to give information to me so I can make what I deem to be the best decision. And what I can tell you, what I'm grappling with you is, you know, that your wife or soon to be ex-wife that you're going through a divorce with, she doesn't want anything to do with you anymore. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it appears on that night, she didn't want anything to do with you. And if that would have been it, where she doesn't want anything to do with you, this happened, I hear all the evidence, and there's no tracker on her vehicle, then I would not be taking that into consideration as some of the evidence. But it appears there's issues with you with no contact. You understand?
I won't have any contact with him.
All right. And then do you have any questions of him?
No questions, but I may have a 2-minute.
Yes, I'll hear your argument.
You're
I
right.
object to that.
Okay.
I understand and I appreciate the fact that it seems like the defendant has had a troubled life. And it's upsetting, but he's 56 years old. At some point, he needs to be responsible for his own actions. And I understand tempers were high that night, emotions were high that night. But to get to the point where he's gonna fire a shotgun at his son, when all he could have done, step away, come back inside, or just called the police saying, I feel threatened by my son's presence here, I need help. Could have been a lot different. We wouldn't be here today. But to go forward with that shotgun blast and have it impact the vehicle where his son was at, 18 inches to 24 inches, like the son just said. If he was any closer, could have been a different story altogether. And then for him to enter a plea to this, go to therapy, which I appreciate, but despite that, trying to show you he's worthy of probation. After all that, he puts the tracker on the vehicle. Very concerning, very upset. Because of his actions that I think he's to be held accountable and responsible for, state does not feel that he is an appropriate candidate for deferred. We would ask, Your Honor, to deny his application for all the cap and sentence him to 10 years in prison.
Okay. All right. And how old are your daughters?
18 and the other one just turned 16 a couple of days ago.
All right. This is what, and mind you, I'm taking everything in consideration in my sentence. This is what the court is going to do. The court will find you guilty, sentence you to $1,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrently. The court will sentence you to 3 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with Anthony Blackburn Jr. And what is the wife's name? I'm sorry, who?
Carrie Blackburn.
All right, is that Kerry?
I believe it's something with a C.
See,
Carrie Blackburn, Barrie.
all right, and so there's to be no contact with Kerry Blackburn and Anthony Blackburn Jr.
Also, ask for no contact with his brothers.
Well, the question is, does anyone know? And because the brother and sister, those are adults, right? Am I? All right, are they asking for no contact? And what I can tell you, sir, is things may change. They may decide they want to have contact, but for now, they're saying they don't want any contact, so I have to order no contact. And I'm gonna order the therapeutic community, and I will put for mental health. The therapeutic community, I don't have any jurisdiction to force you in to have them place you in the program. But if you ask for it, they'll see in the judgment that I put therapeutic community.
Speaking with his sister and brother, his sister Stephanie Blackburn does want a no contact order. Other brother does not. So we only asked that your honor enforce no contact order with Stephanie Blackburn as well.
All right, so it's Stephanie, and no contact with Stephanie Blackburn. And the other person is okay with having contact.
Yes, your
All right, so Brandon wants to have contact. All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question about that, you'll need to speak with an attorney. What I can tell you is I listened to all the evidence. That is why I didn't sentence you to the full 10 years, because I know there's other things that were going on. Counsel. Yeah,
I can't do nothing.
All right. All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. All right, and he'll be over there and they give victim impact. Oh, and Attorney Lacy. I should say Hernandez, yes. Yes.
Take a second to say, all of this. So you learn. Growth is necessary. And maybe take steps necessary one day. Back out, see for this goes, but. After what you did, it's irreversible. There's no point back. You did the most devastating thing that family will experience today. I hope that this point of attention. Oh, I wish you, that's.
All right, thank you. Uh, um, Isa Brianna Ortiz. Bye-bye. Bye, Rick.
I don't know if you've looked at the papers, but we made a change to the agreements.
Okay.
So it's just whited out.
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
All right, the court is calling 2026 CR 0000640 State versus Isa Brianna Ortiz. Can I have parties announced?
Matthew Brown for the defense.
And are you Miss Ortiz?
Yes,
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Miss Ortiz, did you review the application for community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and
yes,
sign it?
yes, I did.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading?
I do, Judge, but the application for supervision will be unnecessary.
Ah, okay,
Sorry.
thank you. So there's no application? All right, thank you. You understand that you're no longer applying for probation with the court?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Ortiz, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
All right, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 to 4 grams. That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Ortiz, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, I am.
If you're not a U.S. citizen by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and re-entry. Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, according to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes,
And again, my understanding, you had previously reached an agreement recommending community supervision.
yes, ma'am.
And community supervision is a form of probation. But by entering this plea, you're telling the court you no longer want to be considered for probation. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, any objections to the court whiting out the part that says recommending? Okay, thank you. All right, so again, the agreement you've reached then is for 2 years in the prison. Did you understand?
Yes,
State defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
yes,
By signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
yes,
Any motions?
No, Your Honor, there were not.
All right, then to the offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
yes, Your Honor. State offers states exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes,
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor, if I could just have a moment.
Yes.
We're ready, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just ask you to follow agreement, Your Honor.
All right, the court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. The court will request the therapeutic community, and there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Counsel, I was reading in the stipulated evidence that she had a warrant, and she was a wanted person. Is there any outstanding cases?
Enterprise.
Okay. All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Noey Garcia? What is happening with your case? Thank you. Mhm. All right, if he can come up, please. And could somebody contact Mr. Let me see where Robert Porter is.
He was going to 227th first. He had full docket,
Oh, yeah.
10 different courts. And Lucky County courts too.
Yeah. All right, the court is calling 2026 CR 002-872 State versus Noey Garcia. Can I have parties announced?
State.
Jay Moritz, Your Honor, from Mr. Garcia.
And are you Mr. Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
Probation, this is an application. Counsel, you received all discovery. Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Garcia, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it? And sign it in all the appropriate places? You're charged with theft of property, 2,500 to 30,000 as state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea, off the record. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? If you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and re-entry. Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine and the state recommends deferred. Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
State defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours community service restitution, no contact with Enterprise Car Rental at 10718 Petranco Road, number 104, San Antonio, Texas 78251, and the MRT. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor, sheet offer states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, and state, is there any restitution?
There is not, Judge, it's been returned.
All right, thank you. State, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
You go downstairs, this.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding you guilty as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Okay, just, we're hoping that you follow the agreement.
All right. So what did you think was going to happen when you didn't return a vehicle back to people?
Brother had messed it up before and I was trying to get it fixed before I gave it back to them, but at the timing just didn't work out before.
What do you mean fixed?
He hit like another car on the side. It wasn't like big damage. There's like a dent on the side of the thing.
Mhm.
And I knew somebody that could fix it and I was trying to fix it before they got a hold, like to give it
Well,
back.
they said that you stopped making payments.
Well, I wasn't on my car. I didn't have the money on my card. I was just trying to fix it before I didn't have the money to keep going. So I wasn't trying to pay for the damages either. So I was gonna fix it before I gave it back. Like my cousin, he owns a mechanic shop. I was trying to get it to him.
None of that is mentioned. What you're telling me, none of that is in the stipulations.
Oh, no, it was just what I had did, my wrongdoings, what I was doing.
Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I own 2 taco trucks.
All right. And do you have children?
Yes, I have.
What are their ages?
7, no, 3 months to 11.
And do they live with you?
I have full custody for it.
This is what the court is going to do. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs or the patch. 2 years deferred adjudication. Proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. No contact with Enterprise, car rental, And you're probably in their system, so they're probably not gonna rent to you anymore.
Is that with any, because I travel a lot, I can go like to different rental cars?
Well, let me just tell you,
Oh.
you're probably in their system and they're gonna flag you and they're not gonna rent a vehicle to you. So when they don't rent a vehicle to you, don't go get somebody else to do a rental and hand it to you from Enterprise, because that's gonna cause a whole lot of problems for them.
But I can go through different, as long as I don't touch Enterprise or go next.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, that's fine.
So no contact with Enterprise Car Rental at 10718 Petranco Road. Number 104, San Antonio, Texas, 78251. 100 hours community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once that's completed, 50 hours will be deemed satisfied. The remaining 50 hours will be deemed satisfied upon completion of the MRT, and I'm ordering the MRT. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. If there's an issue, let probation know. And don't bring this to your mom's doorstep anymore, okay?
It was my house.
Yeah, but she's there
No,
and,
she lives with me.
okay.
Like, take care of.
Well, when I say don't bring this to the doorstep, can you imagine how she felt? The police are there for her baby
I
Right.
understand, yes.
and she's crying.
It wasn't supposed to get this, it would
But
never
it
happen.
did.
Yeah, it would never happen again.
All right, well, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Yes.
IT is here, to fix that,
Yes.
but they need 5 or 10 minutes.
All right, let's do it. if your computer. So we're good. All right, there's no feedback. Thank you for coming down and solving problems. Oh,
Can I just make sure? that-
yes, if y'all can make sure that the state and the defense, their equipment works for that. All right, thank you.
It's when
It's picking up the connection and trying to over there. So.
yeah, it's telling me it's mirroring.
All right, so if the defense of yours doesn't work, or if there's an issue with the equipment, you're probably gonna have to use the state's side.
Okay. We will make do, adapt and overcome.
Yes. Just give me a moment.
So you look at the goalie, you know, which is, yeah, that.
You're welcome. All right, then we can take it up at break. All right, unless,
Was it changed?
I know what it is.
All right, appreciate you guys.
All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 8866 State versus Robert Castillo. Can I have parties announced?
Brandon Prater and Megan Galloway for the state.
David McLean and Brittany Sparks for the defense.
And are you Mr. Castillo?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor.
Are both parties ready to proceed?
State's ready, Judge.
All right,
Yes, it's
state,
ready.
if you'll have your witness on the stand, please. And you can bring the jurors in. All right.
All right.
All right, everyone, please be seated. State, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Judge. We'll call Dr. Samantha Evans to the stand.
All right, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand and have a seat. There should be a square microphone up there. If you'll put it somewhere in your lapel, it's for the court reporter to hear. And if you'll keep your voice up so everyone can hear. Thank you. All right, state, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm well.
Perfect. Well, let's start off at the beginning because that is a good place to start. Ma'am, what is your profession?
Good morning. My name is Dr. Samantha Evans, EVANS, and I am a forensic pathologist.
And Dr. Evans, how are you currently employed?
I work for the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office,
How long have you worked for the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office?
on and off for 14 years.
Okay. And what are your duties at the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office?
As a deputy medical examiner and forensic pathologist, my job is to conduct post-mortem examinations or autopsies to determine why an individual passed away.
Okay. And in the 14 years that you've worked at the medical examiner's office, how many autopsies do you think you've done?
Thousands.
Before that, before you worked in the medical examiner's office, what was your education, medical school, other places you worked at?
So I went to medical school at the Medical University of the Americas in the West Indies, after which I attended the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, Tennessee, to conduct my 4-year anatomic and clinical pathology residency training. During those 4 years, I studied anything and everything that came off of or out of a person to determine if there was a disease that needed treated. And after those 4 years, I took and passed board certification exams in both anatomic and clinical pathology. Then in the summer of 2012, I came here to San Antonio to do my 1-year forensic pathology fellowship training at the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office. During that year, I conducted autopsies and examinations to determine why somebody passed away under circumstances that are of significance to the community and the public. After that year, I took and passed a 3rd board certification exam in forensic pathology. Starting then in the summer of 2013, I stayed on as a full-time medical examiner with the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office until August of 2021, when I decided to go work as a medical examiner in the state of Georgia. After 6 months, I realized I preferred being in Texas, and so I came back to Central Texas in the spring of 2022, and I have been acting as an independent contractor, helping offices like Bexar County do autopsies since.
Well, glad to have you back from Georgia, ma'am.
I'm happy to be here.
So while you've been with the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office, have you done any additional training or continuing education while you've been there?
Absolutely. We, as physicians, we are required to keep doing continuing education throughout the year to maintain our licensure.
Okay. And have you testified in court before?
Many times.
Have you just testified as a forensic pathologist before?
Many times.
Okay. Judge, can we approach?
Yes. Are you approaching the court?
Oh, yes, Judge.
Sure.
Approach.
All right, State, you may continue.
Thank you, Judge. Doctor, let me ask you, were you the examining physician in Berry County Medical Examiner's Office, case number 2023-0745?
Yes,
Did you write a report on your findings during that autopsy?
I did.
Would you like a copy of your report to refresh your memory for testimony?
I actually brought my own.
Oh, okay, perfect. May I approach the witness, Judge?
Yes.
I'm approaching the witness with what's been labeled for identification purposes, the state exhibit C. Can you just hold on to that and you have your own copy? Okay.
And Judge, just for the record, can we get clarification that they're the same reports?
Yes, and if you want to approach the witness to review it,
Yeah, please, Judge.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I was going to state that State's Exhibit C is a true and accurate copy of my autopsy report.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. All right, so this has just been offered for identification purposes to refresh your memory. I ask that you don't read directly from the report. If I ask you a question that you don't know the answer to, feel free to read the report, refresh your memory, and then when you're ready to testify, just look up and I'll know you're ready. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, doctor. All right, so who was the subject for autopsy report number 2023-0745?
Eric Moody,
Okay. Was there a middle name?
Michael,
Eric, so it's Eric Michael Moody?
correct.
Okay. What was Eric's height and weight?
Mr. Moody weighed approximately 191 pounds and was 70 inches tall.
Okay. So let's start at the beginning. When a body is picked up by the medical examiner's office, what are the next steps that happen?
So when a death is deemed falling under our jurisdiction and for us to investigate, that body will be brought to our office and is given a unique identifying number. That number is important because, of course, people can have the same names or birth dates. And so in order to make sure that all the information regarding that particular individual stays together, we use that unique number to keep track of things. The body is then brought into our morgue and we start the autopsy examination. There are two parts to an autopsy, the first of which is the external examination. It's me looking at a body and commenting and noting what they might be wearing, any tattoos or scars. Are there any injuries on that person that might be significant when I'm trying to determine their cause of death? And then we will begin the internal examination, which involves making 2 incisions on the body. The first is a cut across the top.
I'm going to object to the narrative.
All right, that will be sustained.
So once the body first comes in, what happens next?
I start the external examination.
Okay. What goes into the external examination?
I look at the body and document what they are wearing and what I see on the person.
And then the next step is the internal examination?
Correct.
Okay. And then after, are any photos taken throughout the examinations?
Yes, we will take photographs of the outside of the body or any pertinent injuries.
Okay. Can you walk us through, how do you do the internal examination?
The first step of the internal examination is an incision across the top of the head so that we can examine the brain and skull. The second step of the internal examination is a Y-shaped incision on the body so that I can examine the organs inside for evidence of what we call natural disease, think pre-existing medical conditions, or any evidence of injury. And after looking at all of these things, I'm trying to use that information to decide why this person passed away.
Okay. And was that the process that was done on with Eric Moody?
Yes.
Okay. Let's start going through your report. What kind of clothing was the body brought in with?
The decedent was wearing a blue t-shirt, underwear, jean pants, socks, and shoes.
Okay. During your external examination, did you find any injuries to Eric Moody?
Yes, there were a handful of small abrasions or scrapes, as well as contusions or bruises to the body.
Okay, and where were those bruises and contusions located?
He had a bruise on the right eyelid, a scrape on the right cheek. He also had a scrape on the right shoulder and the lower back area. There also were some scrapes on the right upper arm as well as the left elbow.
Was there anything else that you noticed during your external examination that stood out to you?
Nothing significant, no.
Okay, let's go to the internal examination. Did you find anything remarkable there?
Yes, when I was examining the head, I noted multiple skull fractures as well as bleeding over the brain.
Okay. Is there anything else that you saw?
There was a small amount of hemorrhage or bleeding inside the belly, but no other significant injuries, nor was there any evidence of that natural disease.
Okay, let's go to the head injuries. Can you describe those in more detail?
The skull fractures are primarily located on the back base of the skull and the middle bottom of the skull. They are consistent with some type of an impact because there is also bruising of the brain next to where those fractures are.
What kind of force would be required to cause these kind of breakages and injuries?
A moderate to large amount of force, but there's not a specific number.
Okay. Would these injuries be fatal on their own?
Yes.
Okay. Did you find any pre-existing conditions that would have independently caused Eric's death?
No.
Okay. Let's go to the toxicology part of your report. Were there any substances that were in Eric's blood?
Yes.
Okay, what were those substances?
So there is the presence of ethanol or drinking alcohol, as well as sertraline, spelled SERTRALINE, which is an antidepressant.
Okay, and so ethanol, I'm a lawyer for a reason, not a doctor. Could you describe what that is?
Ethanol is drinking alcohol.
Okay, and what was the amount of ethanol that was found in Eric's blood?
The amount in his blood is 0.183.
Okay.
And as a reference, I think we're all familiar with a blood alcohol level of 0.08. So just as a reference.
Okay. And what about the other substance, I'm going to butcher this, sertraline? What is that?
It's a type of antidepressant.
Is it commonly known as Zoloft?
That is the name brand, drug brand.
Okay. What amount was that found in Eric's blood?
0.23.
Is that a high amount or is that therapeutic amount? Like what is that?
It is a therapeutic level. It's not something harmful.
So it would be a common prescription level.
Yes.
Okay. Would either one of these, either taken independently or together, have caused Eric's death?
No.
Okay. Let's go to the manner and cause of death. Can you describe to the jury what the difference is between those two terms?
So my job as a medical examiner is to ultimately determine two things, cause and manner of death, to put them on a death certificate. Cause of death is why did somebody pass away? That might be a heart attack, that might be a gunshot wound, it might be injuries from some type of motor vehicle mishap. It is what things happened that ultimately led to somebody no longer being alive. Manner of death is a series of categories the state gives us an option to choose from. And in Texas, we have 5. We have natural, meaning that the reason somebody passed away is completely internal. Again, heart attack, cancer, stroke. We have an accidental death, fairly straightforward. Suicide, where somebody's own actions caused their passing. A homicide, where somebody else's actions determined or caused that person's passing. Or undetermined, where I don't have enough information to determine which of those other ones it is. So I am required by the state to check one of those boxes.
Okay. And what was the manner of death in this case?
An accident.
And is that is in no way trying to assign fault or anything like that to the series of events?
Correct. So as a physician, and as somebody who was not present when any of my people have passed away, based on the circumstances and information provided, if I don't have reason to believe that there was a purposefulness to it, most things involving cars are ultimately ruled an accident, but that doesn't mean somebody didn't do something wrong.
Okay. And what was the cause of death for Eric Moody?
The cause of death is listed as craniocerebral injuries. In other words, injuries of the head and brain.
Can you describe what craniocerebral injuries would be?
Injuries of the head and brain.
Okay. And Judge, may I approach?
Yes.
Sir.
Yeah, no, I got you. I need to look at this report. Okay. Judge, state's handed me a CD that supposedly has a lot of photos on it. Would it be possible to take about 5 minutes and just review this?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a 5-minute break. Remember my previous instructions. Everyone, please rise for the jurors. All right, everyone may be seated. We're on a 5-minute break. You can remain seated here or wherever you would like to be.
Maybe a DVD
Yeah.
player?
No, I got one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Oh, no, whenever she comes, she pronounces everything beautifully, spells everything. What was your first name again?
Samantha.
Oh, and you know, one other after my first semester where I was filling everything out, I would take no less than 24 hours a semester because I'm like, it's cheaper. After a certain point, you don't have to pay for it. And in my mind, I was like, hey, I took 6 classes in high school. This is doable. We're ready. Yes.
All right, for the
Who did you know?
And then over the summer, it was 12 to 14. All right, everyone, please be seated. And state you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. So, Doctor, let me ask you a few follow-up questions. Have you done other autopsies for car crash victims?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And the injuries that you saw on Eric, would those be consistent with the injuries that would happen in a car crash?
Yes.
Okay. And that would be the blunt force trauma injuries?
Correct.
Okay. Can you describe to the jury what is a blunt force trauma injury?
Blunt force injuries is a category of injuries that are due to something hitting the body or the body hitting something that is flat and broad. That could be a fist, that could be a baseball bat, that could be asphalt. But it's the concept as opposed to, say, a ballistic injury or a sharp force injury. If something broad and flat hits the body or the body hits it, it creates what we call blunt force injuries. On the outside, those look like scrapes and bruises. On the inside, it's often fractures or injuries to the organs.
And blunt force trauma is consistent with the injuries that you saw on Eric?
Yes, the craniocerebral injuries I described are a type of blunt force injury.
Okay. Now let me ask you about the alcohol that was found in Eric's blood. Do you know if that's based on the serum or the whole blood that was extracted from Eric?
So we draw whole blood, but it is spun and turned into separated serum for blood testing.
Okay. Are you aware if the serum would, so in, okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Thank
May I
you.
approach the witness, Judge?
Yes.
All right. So, Doctor, this is a USB from the photos that I showed you from a DVD that I showed you earlier. Are you familiar with the photos that are on here?
Yes,
Okay, clear and accurate representation of what you saw and photographed that day?
yes.
Okay. Judge, we'd like to admit state exhibit 47 into evidence pending objection.
Judge, I reviewed that. We've corrected any objections we had on the prior exhibit. We have no objections to this exhibit.
All right, state exhibit number 47 is admitted without objection.
Thank you, Judge. Permission to publish.
Granted.
Today. You're fine. Go through these photos one by one, Doctor, okay? All right. Doctor, can you describe to me what we have photographed here?
This is a picture of the outside of the body bag upon receipt.
And is there a identification number on there?
There is. The unique identifying case number for this case and on this photograph is 2023-0745.
And is that the case number that's associated with Eric Michael Moody?
Yes,
Okay, let's go to the next photo. And what do we see here?
this is a wristband on the decedent with that same case number.
Okay. And what do we see here?
A picture of a hand.
Okay, are there any injuries to the hand?
It's difficult to tell because it's dirty.
Oh, okay, what's the difference between, like, are there clean photos, dirty photos?
During an examination, we will take photos as the body is received. So whatever they are wearing, if there's any dirt or blood or something on them, we will take a series of dirty photographs as is. And then after we remove clothing and things from the body, we will wash the decedent and take a series of clean photographs.
Okay. And what do we see here?
The palm of a hand.
And this is all during the same examination?
Yes,
Okay, so this is Michael Moody's hand?
correct.
I'm sorry, Eric Moody's hand.
Yes,
And what do we see here?
a hand. A hand. A hand. A hand.
Is this a different hand?
It is.
Okay,
Same decedent. different
okay, same decedent, all right.
Also a hand.
And is this, I see there, it looks like there's some appendages that are on the decedent there. What are those?
The EKG leads, the
Okay.
blue, is that what you're?
Yes, ma'am.
Those are cardiac monitor pads.
And are those left on the decedent when they're transported?
Correct.
Okay.
Hand. The wrist identifying band.
And is there a name on there now?
There is
What is the name?
Eric Moody.
All right. What are we seeing here?
This is the start of the series of dirty overall photographs.
Okay. And for purpose of the record, can you describe the state of the body, where the blood injuries are that you can see?
I can see that there is a deceased person with some partially cut clothing. Again, due to debris and blood, I cannot adequately assess injuries based on these dirty photographs.
Okay. Where is the bloodiness, for lack of a better term, located on the body?
I see what appears to be blood on the head, on the chest, on the arms.
Okay. And what are we seeing here?
Another photograph of the decedent,
And here?
his legs.
And what are we seeing here?
There are a series of photographs from the side. There'll be a series of them on both sides of the decedent, starting at the head and working down to the feet.
And if we can zoom in here a little bit, it looks like, what is this right here?
It appears to be gauze.
Okay. What do we see here?
A picture of his midsection. His legs. Opposite side of the body. Same.
And what do we see here?
So after we removed clothing and clean off the body, a same series of photographs will be taken now, but in a more clean environment.
Okay, I'm just gonna click through these for the jury. Can you describe, what is this right here?
Those are abrasions or scrapes.
Okay, and these would be the abrasions and scrapes that you described in your report?
Yes.
What is this right here?
On every person that comes through our office, we take what we call an identification photograph, where it is the decedent's face along with a placard with that unique identifying number so that we can affiliate the image, the face with that unique case number.
Okay. Back to the beginning. Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor. State passes the witness.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, I don't have any questions.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excused by the state.
Excuse by defense.
All right, the rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone or view anything about this trial until the trial has concluded.
Yes.
All right, thank you. If you'll remove the little microphone and if you'll leave the exhibits with the court reporter, please. Thank you. All right, state, if you'll call your next witness.
At this time, the state calls Antonio Lerma.
All right, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you may have a seat. There's a gray microphone up there that's square. If you could put that somewhere on your shirt, please. Yes, it's for the court reporter to hear. And just make sure you keep your voice up so everyone can hear. If you'll state your name for the record.
Jr.
All right, you may be, oh, everyone, you may be seated.
Judge, I've got an objection to this witness.
Judge. to approach.
All right, if you all will approach.
twenty twenty-five or fairly recently. This email, but I just wanted to make sure we'd be able to get into it
Sure.
during trial.
So the email you received was before the 20 days that you were.
Correct, Your Honor. Yes, it was.
All right, so then are you withdrawing your request to exclude the witness?
I think the court's ruled on it and I'll accept the court's ruling.
And Judge, we would just re-urge our motion
No,
limiting regarding.
Judge, no, it's admissible, so
Yes.
we're waiving that subsection of the motion in limine.
All right, and who is this attorney?
It's Bradley Thornton.
All right, you'll see what's second time.
He
Yeah, he is.
is your honor.
All right, so this is what I suggest we do. We'll take a recess. And see if that attorney, even though I know the case has been dismissed, see if that attorney is available. At the very least, this witness is allowed to speak to that attorney before beginning that was testimony.
Okay, Judge, I guess I just have a question. If that attorney does not want to appear, does the court want to appoint someone or just proceed without?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay, we'll double check on that, but I think we may have to go that route because the prior counsel was retained. And I think they have a certain view of what that means.
Perfect.
And Judge, just for the record, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think the statute of limitations has run on this case for them to be able to refile it. I don't know.
No,
if there's-
I understand certain things, but based upon what has been read in that email into the record, there are some issues that could possibly occur. And I just want to make sure he has an attorney.
Absolutely, Judge.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to excuse the jury. We will be back at 1:15.
Okay.
To continue with this. And Deputy Laura, can you let the jurors know any objections to Deputy Laura or myself instructing the jurors to remember my previous instructions? And we'll be back.